Have you ever wondered why some groups filled with absolute rock stars just completely fall apart, while other teams, seemingly average people, accomplish incredible things together? Well, it's one of the biggest puzzles in how we work and live. Today, we're going to crack that puzzle wide open using Daniel Coyle's fantastic book, The Culture Code, to find out what makes great groups tick.
All right, to kick things off, let's look at this brilliant little experiment. An engineer named Peter Skillman gave different groups a simple task. Build the tallest tower you can using just 20 sticks of spaghetti, a yard of tape, some string, and one marshmallow. Now, on one team, you've got sharp MBA students, and on the other, a group of kindergartners. So, who do you put your money on? The answer is, well, it's not even close. The business students' towers barely made it to 10 inches high, on average. The kindergartners, on the other hand, built towers that were a whopping 26 inches tall. And this isn't just a funny little story. It's a huge clue that points directly to the secret Coyle uncovers in his book.
So what on earth was going on? Well, the business students, believe it or not, were spending most of their time on what's called status management. They were jockeying for position, figuring out who was in charge, who could say what. It looked like teamwork, but really, it was a subtle competition. The kindergartners, they just jumped right in. They were shoulder to shoulder, trying stuff, watching it fail, and immediately trying something else. Their success had nothing to do with being smarter as individuals. It was all about the way they interacted.
And that brings us right to the book's core argument, that great culture isn't some kind of magic. It's not a personality trait your team just happens to have. Nope. It's actually a specific set of skills. Skills that can be learned, practiced, and mastered by anyone.
And mastering these skills, it pays off big time. A major Harvard study actually tracked this and found that companies with a really strong culture saw their net income shoot up by an unbelievable 756% over 11 years. So yeah, culture isn't just a nice to have, it's a massive engine for success.
So how do we do it? How do we build this incredible culture? Coyle boils it all down to three fundamental skills that all work together. They are, number 1, build safety. Number 2, share vulnerability. And number 3, establish purpose. Let's dig into each one.
First up, and this is the absolute foundation for everything else, is building safety. We're not talking about physical safety here, but psychological safety. It's that feeling deep down that you can be yourself, you can take a risk, and you're not going to get shut down or punished for it. This feeling of safety is built with something Coyle calls belonging cues. Think of these as tiny little signals that are constantly being sent and received within a group. Our brains are hardwired to look for these signals to answer a really basic, ancient question. Am I safe with these people? Is there a future for me here?
And what's so fascinating is that these cues aren't big, dramatic gestures. They're tiny. They're almost invisible. It's things like close proximity, tons of eye contact, really listening to someone without jumping in, sharing a laugh, all those small, attentive courtesies. Each one is a tiny little signal that adds up to one powerful message. You belong here. You're safe.
Now check this out. This is maybe one of the most powerful tools in the whole book. It's a 19-word sentence that legendary coach Greg Popovich uses with his players. It's a perfect example of a powerful belonging cue. It brilliantly signals three things at once. 1, you're part of this group. 2, this group has high standards. And 3, I believe in you, and I know you can meet those standards. It completely reframes tough feedback into an act of belief and investment. Okay, let's move on to the second skill, and this one, I gotta tell you, is totally counterintuitive. It's all about sharing vulnerability. We spend our whole lives trying to seem strong and hide our weaknesses, right? But Coyle shows that in the best teams, being vulnerable is actually the key that unlocks trust. So here's the big mind shift. Being vulnerable isn't about being weak. It's a signal of trust. It's like sending up a flare that says, hey, I don't have all the answers. I could use some help. And that moment of openness is what finally allows a group to stop posturing and actually start working together.
And the way this works is through something called a vulnerability loop. You can think of this as the core engine of trust building. It's this beautiful back-and-forth exchange where two people take a small risk together, and that creates a really powerful connection.
And it's actually pretty simple. It works in 3 steps. First, one person takes a small risk. They admit a mistake or ask for help. Second, the other person sees that signal. And then, this is the crucial part, they respond in kind. They signal their own vulnerability back. That completes the loop, and in that instant, trust and cooperation go way, way up.
And for any of this to work, it absolutely has to start at the top. As a former Navy SEAL named Dave Cooper puts it, the 3 most important words a leader can say are, "I screwed that up." When the person in charge is willing to be vulnerable, it creates a safe space for everyone else to do the same. It's a total game changer.
Okay, so we've built safety and we've started building trust through vulnerability. Now we need to point all that amazing energy in the right direction. And that's where skill number 3 comes in. Establish purpose. This is all about getting everyone on the same page, rowing in the same direction.
Coyle makes a really interesting point here. He says purpose isn't some fuzzy, mysterious feeling you have to find inside yourself. It's about building an environment that's filled with simple, clear signals that constantly remind the group, hey, this is why we're here, and that's where we're headed. It's about creating a shared story.
And you don't build purpose the same way for every task. For skills that need you to be perfect every time, what Coyle calls proficiency skills, it's all about clear rules and tons of repetition. But for creative tasks, where you need new ideas, a leader's job is to protect the team's freedom and make it super safe to try things and fail.
The best groups make their purpose something you can almost touch. The San Antonio Spurs, for example, have a catchphrase, "Pound the rock." It's about relentless, steady effort. But they don't just say it, they have an actual giant rock and a sledgehammer in their facility. These simple things, catchphrases, artifacts, constantly repeating your story, they aren't corny. They're powerful navigation beacons for the group.
So this all sounds great, but how can we actually use these ideas in our own lives, in our own teams? Well, Coyle gives us a whole toolkit of really practical things you can start doing right away.
Let's just run through a few of the big ones. Over-communicate your listening. That means using your whole body to show you are 100% tuned in. Make the leader vulnerable first. That gives everyone else the green light. Eliminate bad apples quickly, because negativity is contagious and can poison a whole team. And this is a great one. Deliver negative feedback in person. It turns what could be a tense moment into a chance to connect and build trust.
And in the end, this is really the most important takeaway of all. Culture isn't a thing you have. It's not a personality trait. It's a living, breathing thing built on relationships. It's not about who you are, it's about what you do, day after day. So the question the book really leaves us with is this: what are you doing today, right now, to build the culture you want to be a part of?